And now the transposition and docking. Transposition will be about 8,100 miles from our Earth here, and by 10 minutes later, by the time they do the docking, they'll be out 12,000 miles from Earth. Such is the speed of space travel. You might be interested in some of the speeds of space travel. We've got a few of the figures here that they are going to be undergoing. They go very fast, and for space travel, they go very slow in these moon missions. For instance, in the Earth orbit, that's 17,000, roughly 400 miles an hour. I think it was 17,002 for their trip on this particular flight. But they get down at one point to just 2,120 miles an hour. That's because now, from here on out to the moon, the Earth's gravity is going to be slowing them down, pulling them back, trying to get them back to the good Earth. And, of course, they, having built this magnificent machine, are determined to break loose from that gravity. They'll go on toward the moon, but by the time they're about 35,000 miles from the moon, they will have reached the slowest point of their flight, and they'll just be going 2,120 miles an hour. But at that point, 35,000 miles out from the moon, the lunar gravity begins to take over and pull them toward the moon. So as they arrive opposite the moon, or at the moon, they'll be going 5,700 miles per hour. When they get around to the far side of the moon, they slow down to stay in moon orbit so that the moon doesn't throw them back toward Earth. They have to slow down to 3,720 miles an hour, which is the orbital speed around the moon. Now, 17,000 something is the orbital speed around Earth, 5,000 something the orbital speed around, or 3,000 something the orbital speed around the moon. The reason for that is orbital speed is determined by that speed necessary to create enough momentum to balance the pull of the body that you're orbiting against the speed that would take you away from that orbit, that pull of gravity. And that gravity is determined by the mass of the surface of the body that you're orbiting. Well, the moon is a great deal smaller than the Earth, and its gravity is just 1/6 that of the Earth, so the speed is slower, 3,720 miles per hour to get around the moon. Then to get back out of the lunar gravity pull and come back to Earth, they've got to speed up to 6,188 miles per hour, and they finally reach their highest speed. With the Earth pulling them back at an ever-increasing speed from the moon, they finally plunge into the Earth's atmosphere at 24,695 miles per hour. Quite a flight for human beings from this planet as they go out into space to another planet. The flight is going ahead according to the flight plan. We're a little ahead here on our we should be showing you what is taking place at this time. It is 12:51, is it not? And they were supposed to have begun the transposition at 12:49, but we haven't heard that from Mission Control as yet. Our animation is showing what should be taking place out there at this time. They should have separated in the command module. That should have occurred just 2 minutes ago. And as Leo Krupp told you out there at Downey, California, a little while ago, they're moving to 50 feet away from the spent S-4B third stage, with its precious cargo of the lunar module still in the nose. It's in something called the SLA, Spacecraft LEM Adapter. It's a parking garage for that vehicle. We're not hearing anything from Houston at the moment. Don't know why such silence from Mission Control. We are showing you by our animation here what is scheduled according to the exact timeline of the flight plan, but we're not getting any word from Houston. This does not mean that Houston isn't getting any word from the spacecraft. It does mean that something's keeping the Houston communicator, Mac Riley, from reporting it to us.
Roger. Bob, I'd say that data's not good. Our cold helium pressure looks...
We may be having trouble on our own circuits here. We have heard from the spacecraft that we have separation. It's been relayed to me here, but I have not heard the word from Houston itself. But the relay here is that we have separation. We'll just keep tuned in here. We're getting these intermittent reports. These men in the spacecraft are pretty busy. They're not talking it up at this point. This is a critical phase of the maneuver, of course. They're
Apollo 10 is pitching around now, the guidance and control officer says. Pitching around, and then we'll come back in and dock with the lunar module. Altitude now 3,580 nautical miles. Velocity is down to 25,401.
That world is just incredible. There goes the panel, Charlie. Roger. How do you read it, Eugene? Loud and clear. We don't have the S4B yet, but there goes the panel. Roger.
Those are the panels.
The world is incredible. Really moving? Holy smoly. I sure hope we can show it to you. I really do.
That's Eugene Cernan, whose favorite word is fantastic.
Okay, I got the S4B. Roger.
Means he can see the S4B.
And there goes another panel. Roger, all retrograde, we hope.
That means they hope the panel are falling back of them and not coming forward to where they are.
I don't know what it is up here right now. Yeah.
Those are the slaw panels that house the lunar module. They've been jettisoned.
Charlie, I got the world on closed circuit here, so we're going to try and get high gain. Roger, standing by.
At the world on closed circuit, we're going to get a picture of ourselves from 10,000 miles out.
Okay, babe, there's high gain. The TV is on. I should be coming down the, and I'll have to adjust it as we come along into the S4B. Hey, it's beautiful, Gene. We got the black and white now with a little time delay on the color.
You can see that color in the middle of the picture there. That's mission control in Houston, looking at the television screen.
We got the S4B coming into the top.
A picture of ourselves from 10,000 miles out.
Okay, babe, there's high gain. The TV is on. I should be coming down the, and I'll have to adjust it as we come along into the S4B. Hey, it's beautiful, Gene. We got the black and white now with a little time delay on the color.
You can see that color in the middle of the picture there. That's mission control in Houston, looking at the television screen.
We got the S4B coming into the top. The sun's really shining on it. Okay, I'll try to adjust it for you. Hey, we got the color now.
There it is. There it is. There's the moon in color.
Shining on it.
That is the Earth in color.
Hey, we got the color now. You're on air, babe. Oh, that's beautiful.
Look at
got
that.
The color? Yes, sir. It's looking great. I'm sorry it's tilted a little bit. That's the best I can do with the bracket. No sweat. We got it right in the center of the screen, Gene. It looks like the sun's really bright on it. Tremendously so.
That's Eugene Cernan in the spacecraft. Astronaut Charles Duke, the capsule communicator in the ground in Houston. The voices you hear also.
The sun's got the S4B. The limb sort of blotted out. It's so bright.
Isn't that something? Look at that. 10,000 miles, and there we are.
Hey, you're zooming in. Looks really good, Gene.
Is that the Earth, or is
Charlie,
that...
I got it closed down all the way. Does that help any? Right in the center of the limb, man, we still got a couple of real bright spots, but it's looking real good in the color. We can see the probe, the drogue.
I'm afraid our excitement about seeing the Earth is a little bit premature. That's not the Earth at all. Over that long distance, it looked like, and even looked like you could even make out the North American and South American continents. That's how your imagination can run riot. This is the S4B.